several times why I haven't made an audiobook of Letters from the Desert. The reason is pretty simple. I don't know how to do that. So I thought that I would come on here and maybe read a chapter and let you experience it yourself. I am not great at this. I'm not great at being on video at all. But we'll get through it. So this book was really written in the middle of a desert, and it's been a time that God has been bringing us through, but we're not all the way out of it yet. And I wanted other people to be able to see that they're not alone on that journey. So I've got my iPad over here to the side, so if I'm looking over to the side and my eyes are going back and forth, I'm reading it from my iPad over here. But I just wanted to share this with you, and I hope that it helps you in some way like it did for me when I wrote this. I'm going to read the preface first, and then we'll jump into chapter 1. I didn't write this after the breakthrough. I'm writing this while I'm still in the desert. These letters are for you, my friend and fellow desert dweller. I am currently residing in this space of hopelessness and defeat. Why write these letters? Because therapy is expensive and writing is not. In reality, what I hope to find as I pen these letters is the wellspring of life that I've been promised for so many years. I want the peace that passes all understanding and the joy of the Lord that is my strength. I want the life advertised to us all in Christianity, but at the moment seems so out of reach. I hope that these letters will start to bring the healing for myself that I so desperately need. And I want to bring you on that journey with me. Perhaps you can also find healing through these pages. That is my prayer. My goal in ministry and life has always been to help bring joy and hope to those around me. Right now, that's difficult as I'm facing my own battles. I don't write this from a healed place. I don't write this to tell you how you ought to do anything, because I don't even know how it will end at this point myself. I am still in the desert, trying to write my way out. Will you join me? Letter 1. Writing through the silence, the waiting, and the wandering. My dearest new friend, we don't know each other yet, but I hope by the end of this book you'll feel like you found a true friend that is walking with you through your pain, trials, and hurts. I hope you'll know that you're not alone in your desert. So why don't you grab a cup of coffee or tea and your favorite comfy blanket, and let's settle in on the couch and encourage each other. I hope you'll feel like someone understands by the end of this, because I'm writing to you from the desert. Not in a comfy cottage with beautiful lush foliage surrounding it. I'm not sitting by the fireplace in a recliner with a tall glass of ice water, looking back and remembering my times in the desert. I'm in the desert. The scorching heat of recent fire is still smoldering around me. I've constructed a shack in the blistering sands, hoping for even a smidgen of relief, because I know I'm going to be here for a while. I've already been here for quite some time, and I haven't seen more than a mirage of promise lately. This is my life right now. This is where I'm living now, and I can't see anything but desert sand. But I'm supposed to be here right now. I know this. I'll get into that a bit later. So many have offered their encouragements, sending them to me in my desert shack. It's going to be okay. It can't get any worse. The mountaintop is coming. You won't always live in the desert. This too shall pass. Except I've been here for so long, the foundations were built, my shack erected, and hope seems futile. Is my desert a result of my own choices? I'm sure some of this is my own doing. My own choices, mistakes, and failures are partially what landed me here. There are some trials I'm facing due to others' mistakes, and some are just trials of life that none of us can control. It's a desert of trials and hardships that I'd hoped to have already left behind. Each year I've prayed, and I've hoped for relief and joyful abandon, and each year harder trials have come with a new vengeance. When I thought it couldn't get worse, it has. Tougher trials have come to reside with me here in my desert shack. Sharper arrows have come, and they've dug deeper as more time has passed. The streams of peace and promise seem farther away each day. No matter how hard I've prayed, no matter how hard I've tried, it hasn't changed. I've asked God to move me to the lush mountaintop where it seems my friends always reside. I would love to be free of the burdens I carry and breathe easy knowing it's all going to be okay. However, that has not been my life. In the last few years, we've faced every hardship imaginable. Health issues, financial stresses, car issues, home ownership, aka the money pit struggles, church trauma, betrayals, and more. I don't want to sound ungrateful or paint a more bleak picture than necessary, but when you're living in the desert of the pain of rejection, hurts, and anxieties, sometimes it's all you can see. I've never felt so alone as I have these last few months. Our current trial is one laden with betrayal, rejection, and trauma that goes beyond what many people know or have seen. It's lonely in the desert. I haven't been here 40 years like the Israelites, wandering and wandering through the desert. They wondered when God would show up. They wandered, sometimes aimlessly. I've only solidly been here a few years. I can't imagine being an Israelite. They wandered in the desert for 40 years, seeking the promised land. 40 years without a glimpse of what was promised to them when they fled from Pharaoh's tyrannical rule. We focus on that one part of the story, the 40 years of wandering. 40 years, and then most, not all, were able to move ahead into the promised land. That seems like a long time, but not a lifetime. However, we forget that life before the desert was not a time of wandering, but bondage. The Israelites were in bondage to the Egyptian people as their slaves, and most scholars believe over 400 years of this enslavement occurred before they even crossed the Red Sea. My assumption is that the Israelites had hope as they rushed through the dry ground, leading them out of Egypt from the reign of terror they'd lived in for generations. A miracle had been performed before their very eyes, and they must have walked in amazement, eyeing the sea on either side of them as it was being held back on each side by the powerful yet invisible hands of God. My favorite picture of this moment in history is a cartoon that I've seen where you see the fish swimming as if in an aquarium on either side as the Israelites crossed through the Red Sea. It shows the Israelites as they walked with awe, lighting their faces on the dry path before them. They passed by the fish who are waving hello with a fin. How exciting, thinking the promised land was just a short distance ahead and that they'd soon be living the life of peace they'd prayed for so many years ago. I read once that the travel distance from the Red Sea to the Promised Land should have only been about an 11-day walking journey. Less than 2 weeks to freedom, joy, peace, and provision. And yet, with their complaints and their fight for authority always going up and down, this journey ends up taking 40 years. I wonder what week, month, or year that they started to give up hope. Why don't we look into this together, my friend? And thank you, by the way, for hanging out with me in my desert. It's honestly less lonely knowing that you're here with me as we look to God's Word for some answers. I'm praying that we'll find some together. Exodus 15:22 through 24 says, Then Moses led Israel on the Red Sea as they went out to the wilderness of Shur. They journeyed for 3 days in the wilderness without finding water. They came to Marah, but they could not drink the water at Marah because it was bitter. That is why it was named Marah. The people grumbled to Moses, What are we going to drink? 3 days. 3 days after they crossed over the dry ground of the Red Sea and walked away from the enslavement of multiple generations, 3 days after their freedom came, the grumbling showed up. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Even in the desert, prayers are answered and miracles happen that we forget about so quickly. What happened after they grumbled to Moses? Let's take a look. In Exodus 15:24 through 27, So he cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree. When he threw it into the water became drinkable. He made a statute and ordinance for them at Marah. He tested them there. He said, If you will carefully obey the Lord your God, do what is right in his eyes, pay attention to his commands, and keep all his statutes, I will not inflict any illnesses on you that I inflicted on the Egyptians, for I am Yahweh who heals you. Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 date palms, and they camped there by the waters. Even after they complained, God had compassion on them. He provided water immediately, then took them to camp near water so that their needs would continue to be met. This debunks the theory that I grew up learning in church, a theory that was practically force-fed on every occasion. If you're faithful to God, He will answer your prayers. If you stay faithful and pray hard enough, you will always have joy, peace, and perfection. And if you complain, you'll wander in the desert. But in this portion of Scripture, we see that God answered their cries and complaints with provision. It wasn't based on how righteous or faithful that they were. This is really great news. It means that even if we keep messing up, even if we've complained, even if we aren't perfect, God will still offer grace. He didn't take them out of the desert. He provided what they needed to sustain them for that moment in time. He didn't move them straight over to the promised land. He provided what they had to have for that particular leg of their journey. I may be still camping out in the desert, but every now and then, God shows up with a reminder. It may seem like I'm all alone, but He's here, even when I can't see it. He's working all things together for my good. Romans 8:28. If you've hung on to the end of this first letter, why don't you join me for the next letter? I promise it's going to begin to get more hopeful. God isn't finished with either of us yet, my friend. He is not finished yet.